City Council is now in session. Please stand for the invocation by Councilmember Butler Barlow, which will be followed by the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag.
Let us pray. We meet tonight with humility and faith, thankful for all of the blessings and mindful of all of the challenges in our communities. We celebrate the honor and privilege of work as we remember Labor Day. We celebrate the possibilities of a new school year and ask for blessings and safety for our students, teachers, staff, and leadership at all of our Suffolk schools. We ask for guidance and strength, for courage and wisdom as we meet tonight. Help us to remember to act in love and with grace in service to our city, remembering the needs of our neighbors and treating all people as we would want to be treated. Give us patience and understanding to face the challenges of these days with grace. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The Freedom of Information Act certification is required at this time. Madam Clerk, will you please present the resolution for consideration?
A resolution certifying the closed meeting of September the 3rd, 2025, pursuant to Virginia Code Section 2.2-3712 is presented at this time. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Suffolk hereby certifies that to the best of each member's knowledge, only public business matters lawfully exempted from the open meeting requirements of Virginia law, and only such public business matters as were identified in the motion convening the closed meeting were heard, discussed, or considered by the City Council of the City of Suffolk in the closed meeting.
Council, a motion is in order. Councilmember Williams.
Move for approval.
Got a motion for approval from Councilmember Williams. Councilmember Rector.
Second.
Second from Councilmember Rector. Is there any discussion of the motion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Bennett. Yes. Councilmember Butler Barlow. Yes. Councilmember Johnson. Yes. Councilmember Rector. Yes. Councilmember Williams. Yes. Councilmember Wright. Yes. Vice Mayor Ward. Yes. Mayor Duman.
Yes.
The motion is approved by a vote of 8-0.
We'll now move to approval of the minutes from the May 7th, 2025 work session and regular session. A motion would be in order. Councilmember Johnson.
Move to approve.
Got a motion for approval from Councilmember Johnson. Councilmember Williams.
Second it, Mayor.
Second from Councilmember Williams. Is there any discussion of the motion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Bennett. Yes. Councilmember Butler Barlow. Yes. Councilmember Johnson. Yes. Councilmember Rector. Yes. Councilmember Williams. Yes. Councilmember Wright. Yes. Vice Mayor Ward. Yes. Mayor Duman.
Yes.
The motion is approved by a vote of 8-0.
We'll now move to special presentations. We have two proclamations this evening and then two special presentations. Our first proclamation is in recognition of Forensic Science Week. Mr. Manager, please provide an overview.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of council, today joining us in celebration and proclamation of National Forensic Science Week is Chief James Bowie and members of the Suffolk Police Forensic Unit.
Whereas access to state-of-the-art forensic analysis significantly improves the investigation of criminal activity, aiding in the exoneration of the innocent and the prosecution of the guilty. And whereas crime scene investigators and forensic technicians with the Suffolk Police Department recognize, document, collect, preserve, and properly package items of physical evidence for examination. And whereas forensic technicians with the Suffolk Police Department provide vital, accurate, and reliable analysis of recovered evidence, such as digital and multimedia evidence, firearms, and latent prints and impressions. And whereas professional organizations across the nation recognize and celebrate National Forensic Science Week. And whereas the City of Suffolk's forensic science community is recognized and appreciated for their hard work, dedication, and commitment to providing quality and unbiased significant analysis in support of justice. Now therefore I, Michael D. Duman, Mayor of the City of Suffolk, do hereby proclaim September the 14th through September 20th, 2025 as National Forensic Science Week in Suffolk, Virginia, and call upon all residents to support this worthwhile observance. In witness whereof, I've hereunto set my hand and cause the seal of the City of Suffolk to be affixed this 3rd day of September in the year of our Lord, 2025.
Honor to stand here today and say a few words about this fine group of people behind me. I spent the last 2 days trying to get any one of them to stand here in my place to say a few words, and they investigate over 200 crime scenes a year and never complain, never say a word, but you cannot get them to this microphone to say one word. They fought me tooth and nail the whole way. We're very lucky here. As a chief of police in Suffolk, I'm blessed with having the best crime scene investigators in the country. I mean, I know that people say he just says that because they're Suffolk crime scene investigators, but these men and women are truly the best at what they do in the country. They come out with no complaints, and if you commit a crime in the city of Suffolk, rest assured that you are going to be caught, you are going to be found out, and you are going to be convicted based on the work that these men and women do. They are truly the best in the country, and I'm very proud to work with them. Thank you.
Get a pick. Our next proclamation is the Hunger Action Month. Mr. Manager, please provide an overview.
Yes, sir. Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of council, joining us today is Mr. Jeremy Radin, with the Director of Community Engagement with the Food Bank of Southeastern Virginia and the Eastern Shore.
Good evening. Madam Clerk, will you please read the proclamation?
Whereas hunger and poverty are issues of serious concern in the United States and the Commonwealth of Virginia, and whereas the United States Department of Agriculture estimates that in the year 2023, approximately 47.4 million people in our nation live in food insecure households, and whereas the Food Bank of Southeastern Virginia and the Eastern Shore distributed more than 20 million meals in fiscal year 2025 through its network of food pantries, soup kitchens, shelters, and other community organizations. And whereas the City of Suffolk is taking steps to raise awareness about the need to combat hunger in our locality and provide additional resources to citizens in need. And whereas all citizens, faith groups, businesses, and community organizations are invited to support and participate in local efforts to collect food and funds. And whereas the City of Suffolk is committed to working with the Food Bank of Southeastern Virginia and the Eastern Shore and their partner agencies to increase awareness of food security and the important roles our food banks play in feeding our friends, families, and neighbors. Now, therefore, I, Michael D. Duman, Mayor of the City of Suffolk, do hereby proclaim September 2025 as Hunger Action Month in Suffolk, Virginia, and encourage those who are able to donate their time and treasure to combat food insecurity. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the City of Suffolk to be affixed this 3rd day of September in the year of our Lord, 2025.
A lot of words. Congratulations. Say a little something.
Thank you, Mayor Newman, Vice Mayor Ward, and honorable members of City Council. On behalf of the Food Bank in Southeastern Virginia and the Eastern Shore, I just want to thank the City of Suffolk for its continued support of our mission through this proclamation, as well as through the many other ways that the city supports us. In the proclamation, we specifically mentioned, how we couldn't do this without our partner agencies. Right here in the City of Suffolk, we have nearly a dozen of those partner agencies that help us serve the community throughout Suffolk and our entire service area. Right now, we have a growing need. We are seeing, with increased food costs, more people coming to our lines, more people that have never been to our lines before are starting to show up. And we really, really appreciate the efforts that the city is making to help raise this awareness and to get people to step up. And as we call it, I like to point out that it's Hunger Action Month. This is not just an awareness month. This is a call to action. And we'd call for everybody to be able to come out and help us fight food insecurity throughout the city of Suffolk and beyond. Thank you.
All right, thank you again. Thank you for what you do. I had to take a moment and recognize our deputy city manager's purple socks with polka dots. They're awesome, dude. Okay. We'll now move to special presentations. First one, we will be hearing from the Suffolk Center for Cultural Arts and get an overview.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of council, Mr. Tom Unuzzi, Executive Director of the Suffolk Center for Cultural Arts, is with us this evening and will walk us through the upcoming season and a number of programs and initiatives happening at the Arts Center this year. Tom.
Great, thank you very much. I have some information here that I will leave for you. First, thank you, Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of council, everyone in attendance. I really appreciate you allowing me to come here and present about the Suffolk Center. I consider the center actually one of the biggest assets in the city, and I'm extremely honored to be able to be a part of the center, especially in its most recent evolution. Tonight, I had a hard time really kind of thinking through how to talk about it. Quite honestly, a lot of you are more familiar with the center than I am. You know its history, you know how its space, you know what it offers and things of that nature. So what I thought that I would do is, instead of just kind of going through the season, I wanted to talk a little bit about the changes that we've been going through, because I think it's important for all of us to have an understanding of those changes. I will do that by covering the season as well. So first, I just want to talk a little bit about some of the physical changes that we've experienced, then some programmatic changes, and then what we will do is we'll look at why we're doing those changes. And quite honestly, part of the conversation I want to have tonight is some of the challenges we're going to have in sustaining those changes, which I think is a really important conversation. So to begin, you are all very familiar with the physical changes. We've just finished our capital campaign last year. We've had a anemic wrap. We exchanged like 205 windows. We did a lot of flooring. A lot of expense went into bringing the building up to looking as fabulous as it is. Quite honestly, I consider it one of the biggest secrets in Suffolk. When we get people in there, they are absolutely amazed at what this building holds and what it looks like, its condition and things of that nature. So we are really, really proud of what the center has become. However, I showed those three pictures for a reason. As you can see, it was the original high school brick. We did the anemic, the white, which seals it. But now you see this pergola has the word entrance on it. There's a reason why we wanted to do that. Our entrance is no longer the fountain side of the building, even though that's a really grand look to the building, our entrance now is our pergola walkway, and that's what we put a lot of money into doing, to make it much more of a welcoming walkway to the arts, if you will. So we redid the pergola, we put an outdoor fire pit, we have an outdoor stage out there. So again, one of the things that we want to emphasize is that we have a new entrance to the center, and we want to highlight that entrance. That does not mean that we are not proud of our fountain side. In fact, we ran electricity around to that side so that we can start making it much more community-facing, and so that we can actually start doing more community events out there. We just did dedicate the grounds to Thomas Birdsong III. I'll talk about Birdsongs in a minute. Obviously, they've been huge supporters, not of the center, but of the community as a whole. And if you remember, we had the grand illumination out there. We had festival lights out there. So we are proud of the side. In fact, we do have an event coming up. I'd be remiss if I didn't try to promote some of the things that we're doing. We have a wonderful oyster event coming up that's going to be held in that front area. Since we do have electricity out there now, we will have a live band. Matter of fact, one of the coolest bands in Suffolk, the Cool Tones. I have to say that, I'm sorry. And again, it's going to be a really, really fun night. So I hope you do have time to come out and join us. But these physical changes are important for us to know, and we're very proud of what we created there. So in addition to the physical changes, let me get to some of the programmatic changes. These are probably the more significant, maybe not the most obvious, but the more significant changes. First, although some of our traditional performing visual arts programs have remained in place, and by the way, you're going to see very little words on this presentation. I really wanted you just to kind of feel the center, if you can. But one of the things that you'll see is that there are some changes, some things that you don't see and some things that you will. First of all, we are programming our season so that we are profitable. As much as we are not a for-profit business, we are a for-purpose business, and we have to be very, very careful about the way in which we steward our funds. And it's one of the things that I actually want to say to you, that I do appreciate how much you support the center. There's no doubt in my mind that if it wasn't for the city, there wouldn't be a center. However, I do question how we use some of those funds in the past, and I want to rethink how we do that. So we made sure that all of our performances that we bring in are profitable. We lost money on one last year, and it's unfortunate, but we thought it was going to do better. But we started our season with an act right out of Vegas. The Prince, Marshall Charloff, brought in a wonderful crowd. We had a nice celebration for Ella Fitzgerald's birthday. We had two of our very famous performers, the Masters of Soul, and then Vinyl Radio, that always brings in a wonderful crowd. Again, one of the things that I want to emphasize is if you come to the center, you will see the quality that we put in to the events. It's not just that we hire and bring in a band or something, but we try, and we're really trying hard to make everything we do more of an event. Matter of fact, last year we ended the season with a surprise performance from Britain's Finest, which was a night with the Fab Four. And again, when you can go to a dinner theater now. You can have some drinks and eats and things of that nature. For Ella's birthday, we had a nice champagne toast. So again, one of the changes that we're making is that we're trying to make that when you come, it's not just coming, sitting down, seeing a show, but you're going to have a good time at the center. We have another really wonderful season planned. Again, we are bringing in our wonderful or our famous or very popular performances of the Masters of Soul and Vinyl Radio. You also see a Frankie Valli, the 4 C Notes will be coming to town, the classical gentlemen's quartet. And then again, something that's a little new that I want to point out. We are working with the Underground Performing Arts Collective. That's a regional arts collective that, quite honestly, is right out of Suffolk. However, they go to Virginia Beach to rent their space because they didn't have space in Suffolk, which makes no sense to me. So we are collaborating. We're talking about creating some kind of a residency with them. They're going to be doing 4 performances with us this year. 2 of those performances will be Black Girl Magic and The Glory of Gospel coming up in November. Again, we're really looking forward to this partnership. We think it's going to be a very good partnership. One of the other things that we're changing is the way in which we're handling our holiday seasons. In addition to our brunch with the Santa, we also are going to have a holiday market on 19th and 20th of December. On those days, each day will culminate with a performance. On the 19th, we'll culminate with the Tidewater Guitar Orchestra, and on the 20th, we'll end the night with a Soulful Christmas by UPAC. And then one of the other things that we're doing, and again, this is one of the changes that we're making, but we are trying to promote and be more inclusive of who we promote and who we include. So not everything that we put out there has to be something that we produce. We have some, it's the thing that amazes me in the last 2 years I've been here is the amount of talent that is in this area. We have some amazing production, performance companies, dance companies, and things of that nature. And again, they don't realize that they can be at the center. One of the reasons being, and again, this is one of the changes that we're trying to make, is because of our traditional business model. Our traditional business model is if you can afford us, then you can come. If you can't afford us, then you can't be here. Well, a lot of these smaller production companies and performance companies can't afford that. So now what we're doing is we're sitting down and we're figuring out how do we kind of create something that's mutually beneficial. 2 of these groups, Tada, which is right up in Driver, the Southside Ballet, have been traditionally performing or producing shows that are unbelievable quality. The challenge is they normally just get the families of the children who are performing. So we want to change that. We want to help these local companies be successful. If they're successful, we become more successful. So it's, again, one of the changes that we're trying to bring to the center is how do we support local art and local performers and local, quite honestly, small businesses. Again, that is our main stage. One of the things that you realize is that we have 3 performance centers now, the main stage, our downstairs, and our outdoors. Our downstairs has really taken off as well. Last year, we kind of went for it. We did our murder mystery dinner theaters. We did dueling pianos. We did a jazz and martini night. We did a comedy night. I don't have the comedy night on here because only one of the comedians I thought was actually pretty funny. The other 2, not so much, but that's okay. We tried. But honestly, these downstairs events are much more intimate. They're fun. If you've never been to a dueling pianos, we're kicking off our season on September 20th. It is a night that is just an incredibly fun night. These nights we are trying to make more cabaret-ish adult destination nights where people can go and just have a good time, if you will. And again, we have a really nice year set up. We're bringing back our copper piano or the dueling pianos again. We're going to be doing another jazz night. And if I can just say something really quickly, the jazz and martini night, we had a wonderful, wonderful jazz band. And about 3/4 of the way through, when they introduced themselves, we found out that the singer, who was just absolutely phenomenal, lives on, is it Cedar Street? That's downtown here or something. I forget exactly what street, but she lives right downtown here. And again, has never been in the center. So these are things that are kind of like baffling to me. In addition, we are also listening to our patrons and constituencies and bringing in some things that are new. And quite honestly, there are things that I don't fully understand. For instance, I've been asked to do a MySpace prom. It's been explained to me twice. I still don't quite understand exactly what it is, but my understanding is it's really big and popular, and it brings in a younger generation, and that's one of the things that we're trying to do. We're also going to have an afternoon tea party with the Delaney sisters, and again, something that's new, but it's something that we need to try to figure out how we get different populations of people in the center. And then one of the biggest changes, and this is the one I want to emphasize, and I'll jump to the challenges and things very quickly. We now have our outdoors at the center. We have free nights of music. Friday nights, as a matter of fact, on the 20th of this month, we're going to kick it off. But we have like a theme: bourbon and burgers, tequila and tacos, things of that nature. We'll have outdoor music on our outdoor stage. Our lounge gallery, which used to be a restaurant, is no longer a restaurant. People still come every now and then. It is a gallery that we host. And then we have a working artist co-op up front. So you can just have a whole night where you can just be intermingling with the artist, having a drink or food, listening to music, things of that nature. And I want to emphasize it's free, because that has had an impact in our community, which I will talk about in 1 minute. But again, these are just really fun nights out. We have a turf area. You bring your own chairs. You can sit in one of our chairs. You can sit in the lounge, things of that nature. And then one of the other things that we're doing this year is also hosting what we call our galleries. And in the galleries is our Art of Wine dinners. Our Art of Wine dinners, as I said, the restaurant is no longer a restaurant. It is a gallery space where we host or we emphasize solo artists from the area. When each solo artist ends, what we do is we have a dinner where the artist will pick 4 paintings that they want to talk about. They want to talk about their inspiration, how they go about doing their work, things of that nature. Our sommelier will pick 4 wines that are inspired by the paintings, and then our kitchen will make 4 dishes that are inspired by the wines. It's a fabulous night out. Again, something that we're trying to do to bring the community into the center. We also have our other galleries openings. Right now we have Indigenous Summer. We have a phenomenal visual arts manager who has been bringing really, really different exhibits to the center. If you have not been coming to the center to see the exhibits, I encourage you. This recent one, which highlights and appreciates some of our indigenous communities, is just phenomenal. So again, it's something that I just want to encourage. They're there, and I can't tell you how many days I see them sit there and no one's going in to enjoy them. So that's something that we really want to change as much as we possibly can. Again, we have a really nice lineup. In addition to our galleries, I don't need to emphasize, but we still have our workshops that we run both for adult and children. Our summer camps are still running strong. Our meeting spaces are running strong. We're running out like crazy. I do want to also, again, thank you to the city for bringing people to the center, because that is what we want. So again, I just want to thank you very much, because we couldn't do, and this is just a little piece of what really 10 full-time people do throughout the year. And it's a lot. And again, we couldn't do it without your support. But I do want to just emphasize very quickly why we do it. We changed a couple words in our mission this year. One is access, and the other is outreach. It became very apparent to me when I first started with the center that probably 90-some% of the people who live around the center can't afford to do the things that we do. They probably, and quite honestly, they don't even see that they belong in the center. A lot of them have been around the center, and they don't feel like that it's a welcoming space for them. And we want to change that. I believe, again, the center is one of the biggest assets of this community. And therefore, it needs to be used in a way that serves the community. We're not a community center, but we are a cultural arts center that directly should be serving its community. So we are doing things to really try to get folks who normally would not see themselves as part of the center to become part of the center. We're trying to do things to use the arts to try to inspire some of the folks around the center, to make them feel like they have some ownership and that the center actually serves them. So there are some things, and I'm just going to tell a few quick stories just to kind of emphasize that. But first, there are some things that we are doing that are directly showing that outreach and access. One, as far as outreach and trying to kind of create access, or the things we're doing in the center. You may remember our Magical Christmas Tree tour that we did last year. We had 18, again, it was government, for-profit, nonprofit coming together. We raised over 2,500 food items for the 4Kids pantry. Recently, we did our Empty Bowls event. If you were not at the Empty Bowls event, you missed a really, really cool event. But in the end, it wasn't just a cool event. It raised over $8,000 for the Christian Fellowship Food Bank. We just heard about food insecurity. It's huge. And we have a facility over there, and we have art over there that can be used to do good for the community. There's no reason why we shouldn't be doing that. So again, we want to pull people in. Matter of fact, I'm hoping next year that we can have bowls made from some of the people who actually use the food banks. That, I think, would be really cool. We also are making more collaborations. We're collaborating more with our school systems. We're collaborating more with our other nonprofits. We're working with 4Kids, with community in schools, the Geneve Shelter. We're trying to figure out how do we get or create space where kids who normally would not have access, and quite honestly, even adults who normally would not have access to this stuff, get access, that we can help care for them, that we can help expose them. Those are the things that we're trying to do. So with that said, and actually before I go into the challenges, because I know I'm taking up the time, but I just want to share a quick story, a couple quick stories, if you will. When I said about those free events and them being open, this is what's been happening around the center. Most of you know around the center, I think you're familiar with Pine Street and things of that nature. There's a very different in the cultures of what goes on in the center and what goes on outside. Well, once we did that front, when we put in the turf area and stuff, the kids started coming over and playing, which was cool, but then they started destroying things. So we then had to have a little back and forth and stuff, and it wasn't always pretty, but it started the interaction. So they started coming over more and more. And again, wasn't always, pretty. We got called some pretty nasty names at times, but it kept the interaction going. Eventually, I was able to give 4 of the kids a tour of the building. It was amazing. We were also able to invite 4 of the young girls into one of our events. Never been into it. And you could see after a while, they first went for the food, but then they started participating, and you saw them engaging with things that I know that they have not engaged with before. One of my favorite stories, I'm an ethnographer by trade when I was in higher ed, so I watch people. One of my favorite stories was we had a group of, there were probably 3 families from Pine Street come over during one of our free nights, our Friday nights. When they walked in, I could see most of the people that were there. You could see the tents. You could see them. They stood up, they were watching. They came in, they ordered food, they ordered drinks, they sat down, they listened to music, and they went home. The next week, they came back, and you could still see the tents, but it wasn't as much. By the 3rd week, people weren't even paying attention to it a whole lot. That's what the center can be doing. We can be breaking down barriers and pulling people together where you can just be enjoying life together. That's what the art does. So those are the changes that we're trying to make. We don't want to be exclusive anymore. We want to be an asset for the community. However, there are some challenges. First of all, trying to be successful means being more expensive. When we try to serve, then that means that we're doing a lot of stuff that we're not bringing in income. That's why it's really important for us to be successful in the performances and things of that nature, because we rely on that income to help support some of the other things that we're doing. That's why also when I ask for money, whether it be from you or other donors, it's not to help us do performances. It's not to help us do the art exhibits. It's to help us do the work that we should be doing. And what you should be seeing is a return on that work. So you should be seeing us becoming more inclusive. You should be seeing us create more access. You should be seeing us create more opportunities, because that's what this center is there for. Some of the other things, and again, I just bring this up very quickly. We're a 103-year building. While we improved all the physical parts of the building, a lot of the systems are still old, obsolete systems. I just had to pay $15,000 to get the elevator, or one of the elevators, up and running again last week because the part's obsolete. So they had to overnight it and things of that nature. We are running a risk constantly of just kind of going under because we don't have the reserves to kind of keep it going, which is the kind of the last thing that I just want to mention real fast. As you know, small town, the center was developed. There's a narrow donor base that we have always relied on. We are doing our best to expand that donor base. However, that narrow donor base, as you know, is aging, and it's getting even narrower. And when we think about the families and the children and stuff, and please, I say none of this with offense or anything, but people are being asked for more. There are more charitable organizations out there. They're being asked for more support around other ways. So getting support for the center is becoming harder and harder, quite honestly. And for me, as someone who is responsible, it is really hard operating such an asset, wondering if you're going to be able to make it the next year. That doesn't calculate in my head. So somehow we have to figure out how we get the center in a much more kind of feeling like a stable position. Because right now, we do everything. I mean, when you see things built, when you see carpet put in, I'm doing it. When I'm running to the store, one of the staff members is running it. We don't have the support. We're just trying to figure out how we keep it running. And again, for such a big asset, that doesn't seem as reasonable, nor as productive for me. And I don't say that without appreciation for all that you have done for the center. But we just do need to figure out how we get it into a stable position. With that said, I do want to thank Town Bank and Birdsong Peanuts. Those are two companies that we actually reached out to give us much more support this year, because we know that they are organizations that also believe in uplifting communities, and they both turned right around, and when they heard what we are trying to do, came right out and said, absolutely, we will support you. And then finally, like I said, I really want to thank you. There is no doubt in my mind that if it were not for the city's support, the center would not exist. So I do really appreciate all that you do, but I do want to emphasize there's a lot more that needs to be done to be able to allow the center to have the kind of impact that I truly believe that it could have. Again, thank you very much, and I'm open for questions.
Okay, thank you, Tom. Council, questions or comments? Councilmember Rector?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Tom, for that very informative presentation. I will certainly agree with you that the Suffolk Center for Cultural Arts is indeed a tremendous asset for the city of Suffolk. And we've had these conversations between us several times before. I realize you're fighting a little bit of an uphill battle, because when people think arts, they think people walking around with a wine glass in their hands talking about some little nuance in a painting. And I just want to commend you for the efforts that you and the center are putting into to expand everybody's definition of what constitutes art, and particularly the efforts that y'all and you and the organization are putting into bringing folks into that orbit that would otherwise consider themselves not necessarily a part of that orbit. And as you know, I've attended a lot of your events. A lot of them are very creative. They're very well done. And I don't know when you sleep, but you know, as a councilman for the borough where the cultural center is, I want to thank you very much for all your efforts and wish the center nothing but success in the future.
Thank you.
Vice Mayor Ward?
Yes, Tom, I'd like to thank you for your energy and your enthusiasm you have. I have talked with you a few times, and the vision that you have and the love that you have for the art and also this city. I hope everything work out well because you got some more great ideas coming and that we discuss, and all the things you have done have improved the output or the look of the center. I thank you. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Councilmember Bennett?
Thank you. Tom, thank you very much for your presentation and how you are reaching out into the community, trying to get more involved and whatnot, and trying to expose what the Cultural Arts Center is all about. And you want the doors open for people to come there and see something that a lot of people have not seen there in the building. So thank you again for what you're doing there in the Cultural Arts Center.
Thank you.
Councilmember Johnson?
And I'd be remiss if I didn't chime in here, Tom. The center does so much for our city that I don't think the public really understands how much is out there and how much we need their participation. We need people to come to the center, appreciate the center, and recognize that it truly is a huge asset for our city. And I can assure you of this, as long as I'm on council and these guys, I know we're here to support you. We're here to help you move forward, and we appreciate you coming to us. Come more often, let us know what's going on. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Council, any other questions or comments? Tom, thank you very, very much for your presentation. It was a little lengthy, but it needed to be said. No, seriously, I'm glad you did, because a lot of the public doesn't really know what's been going on. I want to commend you for your enthusiasm. I want to commend you, more importantly, for your vision since you've taken the helm. It's obvious that the center continues to evolve, and especially in regards to engaging the community. I mean, you mentioned it, you know, you're through your actions and through your outreach. I mean, to me, it's very noticeable. And if, from the city standpoint, it is a huge asset, not just for downtown. We think about downtown, but for our city as a whole. And over the recent years, you've been able to attract individuals from our outlying cities, our neighboring cities, to events here in Suffolk also. So continue the good work, and as Councilmember Johnson alluded to, I think you've got the support of everybody here. Just keep it going. I appreciate everything that you've done.
Thank you very much. Sorry for the length.
Oh, it's okay. All right, our next presentation will be an update on our fall events. Mr. Manager?
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of council, joining us this evening is Teresa Earls, our Tourism Development Manager. She'll highlight a number of events through September, concluding around early November, both public and private.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor, Honorable Council. Mr. Manager, you know when you see me come to the podium, it's not going to be a brief presentation. So sorry, Tom, I'm way past the number. And he kind of stole my thunder. I think I should have gotten first billing, but okay. I'm here to talk to you about some fun things that we have coming up. And if you remember all my presentations, we only have time to put in a handful. We have so much more beyond what I'm going to share with you this evening. And I'm only going through the beginning of November, so you'll be stuck with me coming back not only for Peanut Fest, but also for holiday events. from now until really the end of the year, we have our farmers markets going. The Bennett's Creek Farmers Market or Bennett's Pasture Farmers Market is every Thursday from 3 to 6, and that is on Bennett's Pasture Road by Embroidery and Shop Print House. They run that market. And of course, our Suffolk Farmers Market is every Saturday from 9 to 1 at the pavilion behind the Visitor Center, and that will continue through November. Then on September 5th and the 7th, which is Friday and Saturday, it's 10 to 5, and then on Sunday is 11 to 4. The Refined Relics Antiques and Mercantile in their new location is going to have a fall market. And then on September 13th, October 11th and 25th, November 15th and 29th, Miss Lily's Trading Post in Holland is going to have an outdoor open market with different entertainment and food available at each one. And while you may have already heard some of these things, it doesn't hurt to reiterate. On September 5th, we have the Art of Wine series continuing at the Suffolk Center for Cultural Arts with Tanya Hobson. That is a dinner with 4 different wines paired with food, and you get to discuss Tanya Hobson's art. Of course, you do need reservations, and you can make those at the suffolkcenter.org website. September 6th, Decoys is bringing back their Jimmy Buffett tribute. Every September, you can get a margarita, a cheeseburger in paradise from 1 to 9 p.m. And September 6th from 3 to 10 is the 6th anniversary of the Nansemond Brewing Station. It's hard to believe that Suffolk's first brewery is turning 6 years old. If it were a kid, it would be going to first grade right now. They're going to have live music and food and games and all kinds of fun stuff all throughout the day. It will be family friendly. And then September 9th through the 13th is the Suffolk Plein Air Festival. So that is outdoor painting all across the city, not just in downtown, but it will culminate in downtown. On September 9th will be the Suffolk Business Expo. That is sponsored by the Chamber of Commerce at Hub 757. It's from 11:30 to 1:30. It's free and open to the public. It's also good for local businesses to network amongst each other. But if you're also interested in participating, you need to contact the Chamber. On September 10th from 10 to 3, the Plein Air Workshop with Matt Lively will happen at the Pinner House. Matt Lively is the juror for the Suffolk Plein Air Festival. He is a fabulous artist, and this is a 4-hour workshop. If you're a painter, you bring your own paints, your own supplies, and it is, I want to say, $100 per person, and you need to make your reservations ahead of time. September 12th, we will have the wet paint sale and soiree as part of the Suffolk Plein Air Festival at the Suffolk Art Gallery. That gives you a chance to buy the paintings that were painted during the festival, and perhaps even during that day. That is also a ticketed event. On September 12th from 6 to 9, Bridgeport is continuing their CAY Fall Concert Series. That stands for Centered Around You. They will be featuring the band Whoa, and that is in their outdoor plaza on the stage. Just bring a chair, whatever you want, and there's food nearby and drinks, and it is just fun for the whole family. September 13th from 12 to 4, New Realm Brewing is holding their own Peanut Fest, not to be confused with the Peanut Fest. But they will be having a day celebrating all things peanut and music by Island Boy. Now, what you've all been waiting for. The 19th annual Taste of Suffolk Downtown Street Festival is coming to downtown September 13th. It'll start at 11 and it'll continue to 8 p.m. We will be on the Main Street and, well, literally Main Street and Washington Street until 5 o'clock, and then we're going to move everything over to the Courthouse Fountain Park for our after party. Right now, we have 23 different eateries lined up to participate, and if you go to tasteofsuffolkva.com, you can catch any updates. We also have both indoor and outdoor kids events. So along the children's area, you're going to see a trackless train, bounce houses, an inflatable obstacle course. You'll have interactive crafts available from the Suffolk Art League, roaming characters, face painting, games. There's even a rock wall. And then inside the old SunTrust building, we're going to have a fun zone. So you're going to see mini golf and billiards. You can take pictures and fun backdrops. Therapeutic recreation and sensory relief room, because with any kind of outdoor festival, it can be very overwhelming to most of us, especially those who may have sensory processing issues. There will also be a baby changing station and a nursing room available. And of course, the climb wall will be outside, along with the inflatable slide. There will be axe throwing. It sounds a lot more dangerous than it is, assuming you don't stand where you're not supposed to. 360 photo booth, so that's a lot of fun. Then we have live music at 3 different locations throughout the festival. So the Washington Street stage will have Roberta Lee, Bennett Walker Wales, and the BJ Griffin Band. On the Market Street stage, we'll have the Allange Dance Academy. And then we have a food influencer, Joel Hansen, versus the 6-pound Baronator, which is a huge cheeseburger from Barron's Pub at 12:30. If you like anything man versus food, this is going to be in the same line as that. And the Courthouse Fountain Park throughout the day will have Amy Kaus. And then the after party from 5 to 8, originally it was Snack Bar Jones, but they've unfortunately had to pull out. And so now it will be Alan Hudson and the Half Moons. I knew there was a moon in there. So they will be playing in the Courthouse Fountain Park, and that's a lot of fun. And again, all of this is free and open to the public. On September 16th from 2 to 3, you can catch Steve Jackson at the Phillips Dawson House, which is the headquarters for the Suffolk Historical Society. He's doing a presentation on H.H. Warner and patent medicines of the Gilded Age. That is free, but you would probably want to let them know that you're coming, but they'll take you, 2 to 3 p.m. That's on Bank Street. September 20th from 12 to 4, Oktoberfest at New Realm Brewery is kicking off. And then September 20th at 8 p.m., we'll have Dueling Pianos by the Copper Piano at the Suffolk Center for Cultural Arts. That is downstairs at the center and is a ticketed event, but includes dinner. We have yet another Oktoberfest, and I would be remiss if I didn't mention that same weekend, our Nansemond Brewing Station is also having an Oktoberfest. And Vintage Tavern is doing theirs on September 21st from 12 to 3. And then again on September 21st at 2 p.m., Suffolk Tourism is sponsoring the original movie, Lilo and Stitch, the animated version. And we do know for a fact that our little friend and our favorite alien, Stitch, is going to be making an appearance before the movie for photo ops with all the kids. And that's free and open to the public at the Suffolk Center for Cultural Arts. And again, on September 26th from 6 to 9, Bridgeport continues their concert series with Running Shine at Bridgeport Outdoor Plaza, free and open to the public, just bring a chair. September 26th at 7 o'clock, Dr. Jeanette Nicewinter, she is going to be doing a presentation on Frida Kahlo and Mexican modernism. That is also free and open to the public. On September 27th at 10 a.m., American Girl program featuring Lila Monetti. That will be at Riggs Folly House Museum. There's actually a second seating at 11:30, so if you make reservations and you miss the 10 a.m., you can catch the 11:30. It's free and open to the public. It's designed for girls ages 6 to 12 or children ages 6 to 12, but you do need to make your reservations ahead of time. And on September 21st, the SCCA, the Suffolk Center for Cultural Arts, is hosting an oyster roast fundraiser from 4 to 8. It is a ticketed event, $50 per person, and it promises to be a lot of fun. Then we're going to go quickly into October. This is very exciting because last year we had ice skating. This year we're having a much warmer opportunity with roller skating in the Downtown Festival Park from October 1st through the 30th. You do have to reserve your sessions through the Parks and Rec website. You can go to suffolkparksandrec.com. And it's free for anyone who's 12 and under, $5 for anyone who's 13 or older, and includes your skates. And you can also bring your own skates if you happen to have roller skates or rollerblades. October 2nd from 6 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. or so, we will be hosting the Suffolk Peanut Fest Queen's Banquet at the Hilton Garden Inn Suffolk Riverfront. We are currently selling tickets at both the Suffolk Visitor Center and Cecilia's Boutique downtown. They're $35 per person and include your dinner, silent auction, and of course, the crowning of the Peanut Fest Queen. On October 3rd, we are getting a lovely treat of having the fall TGIF concert with Good Shot Judy. If you do remember, I believe our first TGIF got rained out, so this is a chance to have fun in the fall, maybe sweat a little less, but it'll be at 6:30 p.m. Again, bring a chair, bring a blanket. There'll be fun food to be had, and it's a great family-friendly event on, hopefully, knock on wood, a cool night. On October 4th, we will have the Suffolk Peanut Fest Parade at 10 a.m. through downtown. As you probably know, it lines up in our Lakeside neighborhood. It travels down West Washington before turning left onto Main Street and concluding at Finney. It's a lot of fun, and we'd love to see everyone come out, so if you're available, we promise we'll be through it by 11:30 tops. On October 4th, the same night, we have Masters of Soul kicking off the new season at the Suffolk Center for Cultural Arts, 8 p.m. Tickets are fairly priced. I want to say the lowest price is $35 and goes to $45, and this will sell out. So if you're interested, you need to get your tickets now. Now, I'm going to tell you about Peanut Fest, but I'm not going to tell you about Peanut Fest because I'm saving that for next time. But we will be hosting the 47th Annual Suffolk Peanut Fest at the Suffolk Executive Airport, October 9th through the 12th. And then that includes the Suffolk Shrimp Feast from 3 to 7 on that Friday evening. And it's $45 per person, and they're only selling a maximum of 1,500 tickets. So I will warn you, it will also sell out. So if you're interested in getting your tickets, you need to do it sooner than later. And you can find that information on SuffolkPeanutFest.com. And then the Bridgeport group continues with their fall concert series with Grateful Jed on October 10th from 6 to 9 p.m. Now, Suffolk Tourism, this is, I don't know how many years we've been doing this, but we love hosting Friday Night Frights, where we show horribly scary movies at the Suffolk Center. This year is the first time we're doing all of our movies free to the public. And also our Friday Night Frights are all PG-13 this year, but we definitely recommend a parent or guardian accompanying anyone under the age of 17. But the first one will be on October 10th at 8 p.m. We're showing Bram Stoker's Dracula. And then Parks and Rec is going to be showing Ghostbusters outside at Bennett's Creek Park on October 11th. And then October 17th at 8 p.m., we're going to be showing Friday Night Frights as Mama, which has little kids, which always makes it extra scary. That is also at the Suffolk Center for Cultural Arts. October 18th and 19th from 9 to 6 on Saturday, 11 to 5 on Sunday is our 32nd annual Driver Days Fall Festival, and that, of course, is free and open to the public as well. Also on October 18th, you can take a native plant walk with Parks and Recreation through Sleepy Hole Park and learn how to identify native plants and discover their seeds. Also that same weekend, that Sunday, I did not include this, but you should know, we're showing The Haunted Mansion. It's a Disney movie for kids at the Suffolk Center for Cultural Arts at 2 p.m. So it's a not-so-scary movie to go along with all the really scary movies we show. And then October 24th through December 4th is the 2025 annual juried exhibit at the Suffolk Art Gallery. The theme is Dada, which is a post-World War I art revolution where they were really trying to make everything as absurd and nonsensical as possible to really combat the logic behind war. So it promises to be very visually stimulating and super interesting. And again, it's free and open to the public and will continue through December. Bridgeport continues with their concerts on October 24th from 6 to 9. That will be Audio Hum. And then we will have another Makeup TGIF concert at Downtown Festival Park. The band is to be determined at 6:30 p.m. And then on October 24th, our last Friday Night Frights will be The Forest at Suffolk Center for Cultural Arts. Then on October 25th from 12 to 4, Boo Realm at New Realm Brewing. So that's going to be a gift fair / Halloween, fun entertainment, food. And then October 25th, Suffolk Parks and Rec has a multitude of Fright Nights at the various rec centers, Creekside, East Suffolk, and Miltier. And I, for one, can support it completely because my kids have always loved it. And again, it's a free opportunity to bring your kids out in costume, to get candy in a safe location, and there's always a scary haunted house. But I'm not running around screaming, but the kids are. October 25th, 7 p.m. is the Adult Halloween Monster Mash Ball at the Suffolk Center for Cultural Arts. It's only for grown-ups. It's so exciting. Thank you, Tom. So this is your chance to go out. You're not getting to trick or treat, but this is your chance. If you'd like to buy tickets, you can go on the Suffolk Center's website to do so. And then on October 26th from 12 to 4 at Bennett's Creek Park, we'll be hosting the 17th Annual Mudstrut Festival in support of the Suffolk Humane Society. October 28th, the Nansemond River Garden Club is presenting an evening with Holly Holden, Royal Rooms and Storied Walls. And Holly Holden is an Emmy-nominated PBS host. She is an international designer and a preservationist, and she's going to give really a once-in-a-lifetime talk about the different castles, like the one in Downton Abbey, at the Suffolk Center for Cultural Arts, and it's $100 per person and does include refreshments. On October 29th, the Suffolk Library is going to be hosting Hallow Teen, a spooky teen party, something specifically for the kids that are too old to trick or treat but too young to go to the Monster Bash. From 6 to 7:30, it's at the North Suffolk Library. And then November 1st, at the North Suffolk Library, they're doing Dia de Muertos for Day of the Dead. And then November, I know Tom had mentioned this, the Underground Performing Arts Collective, UPAC, is presenting The Glory of Gospel, the Thomas Dorsey story. He is known as the father of gospel music, and that is 2 different shows. You can get tickets now. And November 7th from 5:30 to 9:30 p.m., Malin Meadows is hosting Boots, Bourbon, and Barbecue. It's a fundraiser for the Suffolk Project Lifesaver. November 8th, starting at 8 a.m., it starts and finishes at Downtown Festival Park, the Salute to Service 5K. And so if you want to walk it, run it, just be a participant, you can do so. It's a partnership between Suffolk Parks and Rec and Tidewater Striders. And then November 8th, Jingle Mingle at the Embroidery and Print House shop in Venice Pasture Road from 10 to 3. And then I'm going to remind you, if you've already forgotten, Taste of Suffolk is September 3rd. Mr. Furlow said he would be my Vanna White. This year's commemorative poster for Taste of Suffolk features the plein air work from one of last year's artists at Paint the Taste, which will be happening again this year. Yes, but when they paint it, it's called Paint the Taste. Trust me. But you can purchase this for $5 on site. It's a great collector's item. You can take them home, mat them, frame them. You can also find all this information in your handy-dandy program guide. It's fresh off the presses. Oh, there's also T-shirts at Taste of Suffolk. You need to wear them proudly, by the way. Thank you. And so this new program guide has so much more than I even talked about, and there's even more on our various websites. And I would be remiss if I didn't let you know about the Suffolk Art Gallery's fall exhibit from September 20th to October 18th. It's their craft invitational for coastal Virginia, and you should have this postcard as well. And if you need to remember all this information, you can find it at suffolkpubliclibrary.com, visit suffolkva.com, and this says suffolkva.us, but you can also just go to suffolkparksandrec.com. And that is as fast as I can talk, but I'm more than happy to take any questions you might have.
All right. Thank you, Teresa. Council, questions or comments? It's all quiet. Teresa?
I wore them out.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, I know I've said it before, but it's amazing how much we have going on in the city. Amazing. And my hat's off, to you, Parks and Rec, managers, city staff, everybody who helps put these events together. I mean, it looks like a lot of words on a piece of paper, but having been involved in just 1 or 2 of these events, it's unbelievable how much work goes into it. Especially Parks and Rec is a big part of it, because you're always getting pulled from all sides for resources and folks to be doing things. Like I said, anybody who thinks we don't have something going on in Suffolk just ain't awake. Tom, unfortunately, Teresa won the battle, most stuff. But in all fairness, her budget's a hell of a lot bigger than yours is. So you still.
Know.
All right, with that being said, thank you
rematch.
very much for your presentation and everything that you both did for us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, at this time, we'll consider the removal of items from the consent agenda and the adoption of the entire agenda as presented. Removal of any item from the consent agenda would only be necessary if any member of City Council wishes to vote on a specific item separately, and a motion would be required. Questions and requests for information on specific agenda items can be addressed during the consideration of the consent agenda after the agenda speakers. Interim City Manager Hughes also has information regarding an additional item. Mr. Manager, will you please provide City Council with an overview?
Yes, sir. Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of council, at your place, some information regarding staff's request to add a resolution authorizing the filing of a Federal Aviation Administration grant application, authorizing the city manager to execute a grant agreement for an update to the airport master plan. The airport master plan is a project that is detailed in your approved capital improvement plan.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Manager. At this time, if there are no questions, a motion would be in order to amend the agenda to add the aforementioned resolution and adopt the remainder of the agenda as presented. Councilmember Johnson.
Move to accept the amendment to add the resolution authorizing the filing of Federal Aviation Administration, and to accept the balance of the consent agenda as presented.
Okay, we get a motion from Councilmember Johnson, Councilmember Bennett.
Second.
Second from Councilmember Bennett. Is there any discussion of the motion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, kindly call the roll.
Councilmember Bennett. Councilmember Butler Barlow. Councilmember Johnson. Councilmember Rector. Councilmember Williams. Councilmember Wright. Vice Mayor Ward. Mayor Duman.
Yes.
The motion is approved by a vote of 8-0.
Madam Clerk, do we have any agenda speakers at this time?
No, Mayor Duman.
Hearing none, will you please present the consent agenda items for consideration?
Item number 7, a resolution authorizing the filing of a Federal Aviation Administration grant application and authorizing the city manager to execute a grant agreement for an airport infrastructure project 3-21-0050-034-2025. Item number 8, an ordinance to accept and appropriate funds from the Suffolk Parks and Trails Alliance to purchase 3 park benches. Item number 9, a resolution approving of the City of Suffolk's participation in the proposed settlements of opioid-related claims against Avigen, Amneal, Apotec, Hikma, Endeavor, Malon, Sun, and Zidius, and directing the city attorney and/or the city's outside counsel to execute the documents necessary to effectuate the city's participation in the settlements. And item number 10, a resolution approving the City of Suffolk's participation in the proposed direct settlements of opioid-related claims against the Sackler family, and directing the city attorney and/or the city's outside counsel to execute the documents necessary to effectuate the city's participation in the settlements.
Mr. Manager, will you please provide an overview of the items?
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of council, item number 7, the city is seeking support via resolution to submit a grant application in support of the construction of a hangar at the Suffolk Executive Airport as approved in the Capital Improvement Plan. Item number 8, the city has received $9,000 in funding from the Suffolk Parks and Trails Alliance. This funding will allow the Department of Parks and Recreation to purchase 3 park benches. Adoption of the ordinance will increase the planned revenues and expenditures of the Consolidated Grants Fund budget by $9,000 for the above noted purpose. Item number 9, the consent agenda item, a resolution approving the City of Suffolk's participation in the proposed settlements of opioid-related claims against 8 separate pharmaceutical drug makers. And item number 10, a resolution approving the City of Suffolk's participation in the proposed direct settlement of opioid-related claims against the Sackler family.
Council, if there are no questions about the items, a motion would be in order to approve the consent agenda as presented. What is your pleasure? Councilmember Wright.
Motion to approve the
A
consent
motion
agenda.
for approval from Councilmember White. Councilmember Bennett.
Second.
Second from Councilmember Bennett. Is there any discussion of the motion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Bennett. Councilmember Butler Barlow. Councilmember Johnson. Councilmember Rector. Councilmember Williams. Councilmember Wright. Vice Mayor Ward. Mayor Duman.
Yes.
The motion is approved by a vote of 8-0.
We do have one public hearing this evening, which is to receive public comment on the Seaboard West segment of the Suffolk Seaboard Coastline Trail. Mr. Manager, please provide an overview.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of council, Christy Fisher, Principal Planner with the Parks and Recreation Department, will provide a project overview. Christy.
Good evening. My name is Christy Fisher, and I'm the Principal Planner for Suffolk Parks and Recreation. We are applying for a grant from the Virginia Department of Transportation through their Transportation Alternatives Program to fund a segment of the Suffolk Seaboard Coastline Trail, Seaboard West, which will extend from Kenyon Road to Prentice Street. Tonight, I will give an overview of the project. The Suffolk Seaboard Coastline Trail is a rail-to-trail project that is named after 2 rail companies that formerly operated on the land, the Atlantic Coast Line Railroad and the Seaboard Airline. The original master plan was developed in 2006, and the original trail extended from downtown to the Suffolk Chesapeake City line. The Suffolk Seaboard Coastline Trail is part of a planned multi-city 41-mile-long Southampton Road Trail that will link the cities of Suffolk, Chesapeake, Portsmouth, Norfolk, and Virginia Beach. Throughout the entire trail, Suffolk Seaboard Coastline Trail system, it's a 10-foot wide multi-use trail and will be 19 miles in length when complete. We are currently applying to receive funding from the VDOT Transportation Alternatives Program. Here is the location of the trail. It is 3.3 miles, and this section, so this is extending from the original master plan, extending from Kenyon Road to Prentice Street. And this section was identified as a strategic action within the 2017 Suffolk Bicycle and Pedestrian Master Plan. The corridor runs along a former railroad corridor from Kenyon Road to Prentice Street, and most of the corridor is within a 12-foot wide footprint of an HRSD, permanent utility easement, which was part of a 2015 Force Main project. Here are some pictures from the west end of the corridor. Down at the west end by Kenyon Road, there is a large concrete manufacturing facility, and it also crosses underneath an active Norfolk Southern tracks through a culvert, which is a pretty interesting feature of it, and there are farms at this end. There is also a railroad bridge that is no longer in use, and the actual structure of the bridge is in good condition and will be able to be reused for the trail. The top part, the decking, will need to be replaced. And here are some more pictures of the bridge. As you can see, it's really scenic, interesting in this area. And again, on the east end of the trail corridor, it's a very different feel. There is a city park next to where the trail will go, and there's suburban development. And then there's also a proposed trailhead over where the current Suffolk Seaboard Coastline Trail ends at Prentice Street and where it will begin here, and it's just showing where the trailhead will be. At the conclusion of the public hearing, I will be available for questions.
Okay, thank you very much. Before we open the public hearing, Madam Clerk, will you please explain the timing system?
This is a public hearing, and each speaker is asked to provide their name and address and will receive 3 minutes to offer their comments.
This is a public hearing. Will the first speaker please come forward and provide their name and address? Do we have anyone present who would like to speak to this ordinance? Hearing no speakers, this public hearing is now closed. I understand we have no action. Oh, I'm sorry. We'll officially reopen the hearing. I'm not sure that's in Robert's rules, but we're going to make it work.
Hello, City Council. How you doing? I am back again, but I do have a question for Ms. Crystal.
Ma'am, can you state
okay,
your name and address, please?
Oh, I'm sorry, I
Thank you.
apologize. My name is Pamela Brandy. I live at 5016 Pearl Street, Chesapeake, Virginia, 23321. And my question is for Ms. Crystal. One, have you actually been out to the seaboard where Chesapeake and Suffolk lines are? And do you know exactly where that boundary line is? That's my question. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. I'll ask one more time, do we have anyone else present who would like to speak at this time? Hearing none, this public hearing is closed. And we don't have any action at this time. We do also not have any ordinances this evening. We have a resolution authorizing the filing of a Federal Aviation Administration grant application and authorizing the city manager to execute a grant agreement for an update to the Airport Master Plan Project 3-51-0050-035-2025. Mr. Manager, please provide an overview.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of council, this is the item that we added to the agenda this evening. The City of Suffolk has received confirmation from the FAA of funding in the amount of $370,500 to update the airport master plan for the Suffolk Executive Airport. The grant requires a local contribution of $3,900 and anticipates additional funding from the state via grant of $15,600. This project is approved in your capital improvement plan.
Thank you, Mr. Manager. Council, a resolution has been provided for your consideration. What is your pleasure? Councilmember Williams.
Mayor, I move to approve.
A motion for approval from Councilmember Williams. Vice Mayor Ward.
Second.
Second from Vice Mayor Wood. Is there any discussion of the motion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Bennett. Councilmember Butler Barlow. Councilmember Johnson. Councilmember Rector. Councilmember Williams. Councilmember Wright. Vice Mayor Ward. Mayor Duman.
Yes.
The motion is approved by a vote of 8-0.
We have no staff reports this evening. We do have a motion to schedule a city council work session for Wednesday, September 17th, 2025 at 4 p.m. unless canceled by the mayor and the interim city manager. And a motion would be in order. Councilmember Rector.
Move to approve.
A motion for approval from Councilmember Rector. Councilmember Williams.
Second that, Mayor.
Second from Councilmember Williams. Is there any discussion of the motion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Bennett. Councilmember Butler Barlow. Councilmember Johnson. Councilmember Rector. Councilmember Williams. Councilmember Wright. Vice Mayor Ward. Mayor Duman.
Yes.
The motion is approved by a vote of 8-0.
Now move to non-agenda speakers. Madam Clerk, do we have any speakers this evening? And if so, please explain the guidelines.
Yes, we do have non-agenda speakers this evening. Each person participating under the item of business entitled Non-Agenda Speakers shall limit their remarks to the services, policies, and affairs of city government and shall be permitted 5 minutes for the purpose of presenting his or her matter. Speakers appearing before City Council will not be permitted to participate in the following activities: to campaign for public office, engage in personal attacks, promote private business ventures, or use profanity. Speakers who violate these rules will be declared out of order by the presiding officer and will immediately yield the floor and be seated. Our first non-agenda speaker is Tyler Wankowitz, 402 Collier Crescent, representing Self, regarding the need for stronger animal protection laws and enforcement.
Good evening, Mayor and members of City Council. My name is Tyler Wankowitz. I am the founder of the Paw Print Project, a local nonprofit dedicated to protecting animals and empowering communities to take action when the system fails them. But tonight, I'm not just here as an advocate, I'm here as a witness to a failure that cost a dog her life, a dog named Pumpkin. Pumpkin escaped her home 17 times. 17 different opportunities for someone to intervene, 17 cries for help that were either ignored or passed over with temporary solutions. Her owner had been charged 5 times with dog running at large, 3 times for animal cruelty, 5 times for inadequate care, and cited for no rabies vaccine and leaving her unattended 3 times. The last charge was filed in February 2023. And yet since then, Pumpkin has escaped again and again. She has been reported again, and yet nothing has changed. There has been no meaningful intervention, no protective action, and no accountability. So I have to ask, why? Besides the effort of our animal control officers, why is it that a dog can suffer this long and this often, be documented repetitively by the very system meant to protect her, and still be returned to the same conditions? I tried to save Pumpkin. I provided food, water, and a safe place. I alerted animal control, and I did everything I believed was right. But instead of support, I was the one being accused of felony charges. And now, since animal control stepped back in to return her to her owner, Pumpkin is missing, yet again. She's gone after everything, after every report, every charge, and every chance, she's gone. Angrily, I did or their chief, Megan Lehner, but the fact that our ordinances use vague terms like adequate food and water or proper shelter, but those words mean nothing when they're not clearly defined and not enforceable. That is why I'm asking for your support for the Pumpkin Standard, a model ordinance that sets clear, enforceable standards of care, empowers intervention when animals are at risk, and puts the burden back where it belongs, on those who allow the suffering, not those who try to stop it. We need real consequences, and we need systems that protect the voiceless, and we need them now. Pumpkin's story should have ended with her being rescued, saved, and loved, not dead. Let's make sure that no other animal in Suffolk suffers the same way she did. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Pamela Brandy, 5016 Pearl Street, Chesapeake, Virginia, representing the Pughesville Civic League regarding boundary meetings and infrastructure.
Do I have to do my address again? I'm good. Okay, all right. Thank you all. I'm back again, and I'm coming here about what has been going on in Pughesville that you all have neglected and denied Pughesville their rights. When you all did y'all redistricting and y'all created those 3 maps, the person that you all hired said that he can uphold those maps in a court of law. And I spoke that night and said he had to, due to the fact that they were saying that Councilman Lou Ward at the time had all of Pughesville, and I said I lived in Pughesville, but on the Chesapeake side. But yet you all let your maps go through. However, now you all said that y'all don't know where the boundary line is. Well, everybody that spoke tonight about the arts and everything, they know where the boundaries at. And then Ms. Crystal, she just spoke, and I asked the question, y'all didn't have her to answer the question. And you know where our schools and where our taxes being paid at. Then you all decided to not only move my property and other people over into the city of Suffolk, which I told you then I did not and shall not be a Suffolk resident. You all have on utility tax showing that changed my utility tax November 1822 to the city of Suffolk. However, on the back of the paperwork from Dominion Powers, it tells us exactly what happened, that there was an audit that was created that said that we were in the wrong district, but there was nothing that we needed to do because they take care of it. However, my bill this month shows that I'm now back in the city of Chesapeake. Yet, on the backside, they don't say anything about the reason why or how it changed. I asked the question, what was the criteria and determining factors to determine what district or city that we would be charged utility tax? I also said, and I'm gonna say again, every resident on the Chesapeake side, from November 1822 to September 25, we want all of our money returned back and with interest, because you all did not have the authority or the power to charge Chesapeake residents, for we are not your residents. So you all should not have taken our money. Then, when I look at maps, which is the Pughesville Drainage Improvement Phase 2 from November 30th, 2021, the map shows the dividing line. When we look at your maps that was created, bring that map. A map that the Nesman County boundary for you all, that includes Chesapeake residents, my home, in fact. And then I also came over to the city of Suffolk Courthouse, and my property was moved underneath the old Pughesville plot. Again, residents and citizens in the United States of America have a right to choose to purchase land, homes, and anything else we choose within the city we choose to live in, not where the city choose to put us at. You all expect us to follow y'all ordinance, y'all policies, and y'all laws. But guess what? We too expect you all to follow the same ordinance, policies, and laws that has been put out before us. Also, residents have selected and listen to what you all say when you all was going to run as city council for us and what you were going to do for us. And we voted based off of what you said, but you all have not followed what you said. However, I would like to let you know this, by the word of God. We understand that these things that we fighting against, weapons are not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world and spiritual wickedness in high places. However, the Lord's word tells us that when you make a vow unto the Lord, He expects you all to uphold it and uphold it quickly. And we as residents, when we allow you and give you our taxes, our monies, we ask you to be transparent. We ask you to be truthful and honest with what you do and how you spend our money, and realize that we too are people that are trying to live in these cities that we love and that we choose to live in, but we want to do it and we want to trust what you say and what you tell us. And then, by the way, we asked for a public hearing and not an open house on the boundary lines. But it's amazing. The headline says the boundary lines in Pughesville, but both cities have put the open houses outside of Pughesville. We would like to see when y'all would actually come together and have a town hall, or have a public hearing and council together where we can all ask you questions at the same time and not separately. And again, remember, we love the cities which we choose to stay in, and we expect you all to uphold what we voted you in and what you took an oath to man and to God. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Sean Green, 3301 Nansman Parkway, representing Nansman River High School, regarding funding for Nansman River High School expansion.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor. Thank you for and Council, thank you for your time this evening. My name is Dr. Sean Green, Principal of Nansman River High School. Tonight I'm here, I'm also a longtime resident of Suffolk. Tonight I'm here with a simple but urgent message. The expansion of Nansman River High School cannot wait until 2033, as it is currently scheduled in the city's capital improvement plan. Nansman River High School is currently beyond capacity. Nearly every space in every classroom is used every block each day. This means teachers cannot plan in their classrooms because another teacher has to come in with another group of students during their planning times. Next semester, we'll only have 2 open classrooms, and those will actually are science labs, which can only be used for specific purposes. We've actually had to turn storage spaces into classrooms. We have close to 20 teachers without a classroom at all. Those staff, they have to push carts down the hallway from class to class because we don't have space and have that convenience for each teacher to have a classroom. We have another 20 teachers who are teaching every block, who are teaching extra block to meet the needs of our students. But the reality is, no matter how flexible we are with staffing, we still have the same number of restrooms, same size cafeteria, and the same hallways, which more students are moving through those hallways every year. We've even had to add a 5th lunch period, unlike some of the other high schools in the city, just because of the volume and the crowd safely that we can't handle in the cafeteria. Without an auxiliary gym, at times we have over 100 students on the floor in the main gym to have class. And this is not only just an inconvenience, this may raise safety concerns. Also, it affects instruction and the quality of the student experience. Now, we all understand that Northern Suffolk is a thriving area. Families are attracted because it's a great place to be. But we also must understand that this overcrowdedness is not just a Suffolk Nansman River problem, not just a Suffolk Public Schools problem, but this is a problem, a challenge within our city and our community as a whole. Quality schools drive home values, attract businesses, and shape Suffolk's future. If we let overcrowding undermine the learning environment, it affects every family and every neighborhood in our city. I have seen this before previously when I was principal at John Yates Middle School, where we had 21 mobile units prior to Colonel Fred Cherry Middle School being built. At that point in time, Suffolk made the right decision. We need to have that same vision for Nansemond River High School before it's too late. If we wait until 2033, we won't only we won't only talk about classrooms, but we'll also have to have conversations and talk about the loss of quality teachers who cannot continue under these conditions. And most importantly, we'll be talking about the lost opportunities for Suffolk students, opportunities they can't get back. As the leader of Nansemond River High School, I cannot allow us to reach the point where we physically do not have space to put students. I'll say that part again. We don't want to get to a point where we physically do not have a place for our students. With the growth happening in Northern Suffolk, that day is coming faster than any of us would truly admit. As a group, I'm asking that you move the expansion of Nansemond River High School forward in the capital improvement plan prior to 2033. Our students deserve safe, suitable, and inspiring spaces to learn. It's time to act now before it's too late. Thank you.
Our final speaker this evening is Wayne White, 4216 Coltrane Avenue, representing Self, regarding Pughesville. No, excuse me. You're not the final speaker, Mr. White.
Hello, Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor, Mr. Cavanaugh, and I don't think I met you before, but I just want to say I have a couple people that speaks all the time, and I've been sitting back in the background just, letting them do the work. Well, I'm Wayne White, president of Pughesville, Suffolk Civic League. Pam is the president of the Chesapeake side. I just want to say, another school year's coming. And I got a grandson that's in the first grade, and he has like a 8-to-5 job. School buses is a problem. He gets on the bus 8 o'clock in the morning and don't get home till after 5 in the afternoon. Okay, now the next thing is the sidewalks. We've been talking about sidewalks for years and years and years. The kids are still standing in the street. I talked to bus drivers into turning the bus at an angle so that vehicles can't come past and stuff like that. John Street, y'all did a lot of work on John Street. Let's make sure we pave it. The streets in in Pughesville need to be paved. I know John Street you did a lot of work on John Street, and hopefully what y'all did will work. You dug a great big old hole in Pughesville, what you call a retention pond. Please, 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 I'm asking, put a fence around it, because we don't want to find any of our kids out there in that pond, swimming or whatever, and drown. So that's mainly all the things I have to say is make sure that we put a fence, a suitable fence, not just something that the kids can climb over or whatever, but put a fence around that retention pond. And I thank you.
Our final speaker this evening is Carolyn White, 4216 Coltrane Avenue, representing Self, regarding Pughesville.
Good evening. First of all, I'd just like to say congratulations to Ms. Wright. Hadn't been here since she's sitting on the board. Ms. Wright, I just want to say thank you because you're number 4. You're the 4th woman to be in the city of Suffolk City Council. And also, you are the first. You are the first woman of color on the city council. So I thank you for that. Keep up the hard work. And to our vice mayor, our Councilman Lou Ward, I'd like to thank you for the June Suffolk happenings, where you put in there Carolyn White, everything she said is true. Thank you, Vice Mayor, because tonight I want to talk about integrity. And the meaning for integrity is the quality of being honest and having consistent and uncompromising adherence to strong moral and ethical principles and values. And I just like to say that the number 4 that we spoke about, Ms. Wright, number 4, the Bible states 4 as completeness. Integrity is wholeness, completeness. And I just like to say that even in the book of Revelation, it talks about wholeness, completeness, the number 4. You know why? Because there are going to be judgments, punishment, all corners of the world. So I just like to say tonight that we studied integrity just this past Sunday in our latest Sunday school class. And it talks about being complete in Christ. So those of you who say you are saved, that you know the Lord, then it's time to start using your integrity. No matter what they say on council. If you don't agree, say you don't agree. Have no fear. God hadn't given me the spirit of fear. He's given me a sound mind. And he's given me love. I love you all. But when you're not doing right, I will mention it. And I know all of you got the packet, but nobody said a word because we all conformed and say what one person say. We better learn to get out of that because Jesus is coming soon. So I just want to let you know, stand with your integrity. I still like that hair, Brother Johnson. God bless you.
That concludes the speakers, Mayor.
I will now move to new business. Madam Clerk, do we have any additions to tonight's agenda?
We have the following individuals recommended for appointment to the respective boards and commissions. The Agricultural Advisory Committee as the Farm Services Agency Local Administrative Area Whaleyville Cypress Representative, Michael Ellis, with a term effective of September the 18th. Also, the Agricultural Advisory Committee, the Farm Service Agency Local Administrative Area, the Holy Neck Representative, Michael Falk, with also a term a term effective of September the 18th, 2025. The Agricultural Advisory Committee, the Direct Marketing Farming Representative, Brian Harris, effective term date September 18th, 2025. The Agricultural Advisory Committee, Forest Industry Representative, W. Michael Lane, term effective September the 18th, 2025. The Community Policy and Management Team, Private Provider Organization or Association of Providers Representative, Sheridan Merriweather. And our final nominee this evening is for the Southeastern Public Service Authority, the ex officio alternate member, Public Works Director Greg Benton.
Councilmember Johnson.
Vote to approve.
Got a motion for approval from Councilmember Johnson. Councilmember Rector.
Second that motion.
Second from Councilmember Rector. Do we have any discussion of the motion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Bennett. Councilmember Butler Barlow. Yes. Councilmember Johnson. Yes. Councilmember Rector. Yes. Councilmember Williams. Yes. Councilmember Wright. Yes. Vice Mayor Ward.
Yes.
Mayor Duman.
Yes.
The motion is approved by a vote of 8-0.
Do we have any other new business items for consideration that would require action of City Council? Hearing none, we'll move to announcements and comments. And at this time, I'll ask if the Communications Department has any announcements.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of City Council, and City Manager. I'd like to begin tonight's announcements with some exciting news from the City Manager's office. Interim City Manager Kevin Hughes has appointed Gary Jones as the interim Deputy City Manager overseeing Suffolk's development portfolio, effective immediately. Gary has served as Director of Capital Programs and Buildings since its creation in 1999. During his 26 years with the city, he has managed planning and construction of over $800 million worth of capital improvement programs, including City Hall, Downtown Festival Park, Fire Station Number 11, and so much more. Congratulations, Gary, on this new opportunity. The Economic Development Team has been busy since our last council meeting. On Wednesday, August 27th, Attend Home Care celebrated the opening of their new Suffolk location at 1134 Myrtle Street with a ribbon cutting ceremony. Attend Home Care is dedicated to delivering 5-star quality care right in the comfort of your home. Their team of experienced, compassionate caregivers create personalized care plans to ensure loved ones receive the daily support that they need. Their services include personal care to assist with everyday activities, companion care, and even more comprehensive options such as 24-hour and overnight care. For more information about their services, you can visit their website at attendhc.com. Stillwater Tea has officially reopened its doors. This traditional English afternoon tea house celebrated its grand opening on Friday, August 29th. Originally founded in 2014, Stillwater quickly became a local favorite, known for its fine teas, fresh sandwiches, and signature pastries. After closing in 2022, the new owner, Amy Ford, is excited to bring back this beloved Suffolk establishment. The tea house will now operate on a reservation basis only. Guests can stay updated on upcoming tea tastings and seasonal menus and special events following Stillwater Tea House on social media or visiting stillwaterteahouse.com. Turning to education, Suffolk Christian Academy recently held a ribbon cutting for a new lower class space located off Romans Road on Wednesday, August 20th. This new facility will be able to serve over 200 students from pre-K through 4th grade. And Suffolk Public Schools launched the very first elementary lab school in Virginia. The STEAM Academy at Booker T. Washington officially opened its doors on August 22nd. This initiative will strengthen early education and prepare our students for future careers in science, technology, engineering, and math. Together, these milestones highlight Suffolk's continued commitment to expand educational opportunities for its youngest learners. Motorists should be aware that the southbound traffic on East Constance Road at Wilroy Road has been reduced to 1 lane on August 27th, a change that will remain in place through October 21st. Detour signs are posted to help guide drivers through the area. Additionally, the 900 block of Wilroy Road near Shingle Creek, northbound traffic will be reduced to 1 lane beginning September 8th. Temporary signals will allow alternating 2-way traffic until October 21st. Work is underway to replace water valves at both of these locations. We ask for everyone's patience as these improvements are underway. The Suffolk Police Department, alongside Virginia State Police, helps eliminate auto theft program, will be hosting a VIN etching event on Saturday, September 6th from 9 a.m. until noon. VIN etching adds another layer of protection against auto theft. The event will take place in the rear parking lot of City Hall and is free and open to the public. For more information, please visit the City of Suffolk Police Department's Facebook page for any more information. Suffolk Parks and Rec recently supported 16 local teens ages 13 to 17 as they prepared for the upcoming school year by organizing shopping trips for clothing, school supplies, and even hygiene essentials. These teens are all a part of the department's mentorship initiative, 757 Protege, which pairs students with mentors for regular check-ins and group activities. The 757 Protege program is made possible through a grant provided by the National Recreation and Park Association. For more information on this 757 Protege partnership, contact Parks and Rec at 757-514-7250. And lastly, a reminder that the 19th annual Taste of Suffolk will be held on Saturday, September 13th from 11 a.m. until 8 p.m. in downtown Suffolk. Join us for family fun, great music, vendors, and of course, the best food in Suffolk that has to offer. For more information about the event, including parking and road closures, visit tasteofsuffolkva.com. And finally, on your screen are the various ways residents can stay connected with us, events and updates. Thank you and have a great night.
Thank you very much. We'll now move on to announcements from City Council, and we're going to start with Council Member Butler-Barlow. Whoops. Delegates.
Sorry.
There you go.
Thank you, Mayor. I guess the first thing, and everyone's going to say this, but it's unbelievable how many things are going on in Suffolk, and if you can just do a fraction of them, it would be great. So many good opportunities, a little something for everybody, and I hope folks will notice and fill your schedule accordingly, because it's a lot of fun stuff. Beyond that, there's a lot of road projects going on, and we're going to add in the fact that school is open and that harvest is underway. So I just hope that everyone will keep that in mind as they're out driving around the city. Watch out for school buses and watch out for farm equipment, because a corn harvest is in full swing. And I had to go along behind a tractor on my way here, so even I get stopped by farm equipment. But I want to say best wishes to all of our students on an excellent school year, and to all of my friends in agriculture, a safe and productive harvest. And with that, I'll say goodnight.
Councilmember Bennett. Hold on, let me get you. Here we go.
Thank you, sir, Mayor. I would like to start out by saying congratulations to your appointment as interim city manager, Mr. Gary Jones. You've been here a long time, and you've had many, many projects that you have seen complete. And I think that you are well deserving to show that talent to help the other team of city manager staff out in the future. And I'm sure that there's great things going to happen. You have great mind of things that take place in Suffolk, and you have done an outstanding job performing in your job that you have been in for 25 years. I want to thank you, sir. And also, I would like to say that I wasn't able to attend the STEM program over at Booker T, but I think that was a great program that's coming to Suffolk, and it's good to have our young people starting early and starting in the elementary school. I think it's a great tool to get our kids started there for the future. So I think that's a great tool that the schools have put forth with ODU, and I cannot thank them enough for what they are doing there. The other thing I want to say is Wilroy Road construction and all this stuff that's going on, we need to have good advertisement so people will know with SIPs of what they're going to be sitting traffic through there, and all the construction on Shingle Creek and at Constance Road. It's going to be a mess. So we really need to stay on top of that to make sure that we have police out there to try to help as much as they can to keep the traffic flow. But we have been getting, I have, and I'm sure some of you have, been getting a lot of complaints from the area on Wilroy Road with traffic backing up over there. One thing has been called to my attention that Wilroy Road and Progress Road, where to turn to go into the industrial park, the turn lane there is very short. And when the train comes, even though we have the flyover down further, people are stopping to go into Wilroy Industrial Park, and traffic is backing up on Wilroy Road, and they're going around the double line, trying to get around the people that's trying to get, because the traffic is backed up. I don't know what we can do about that, but I'm looking for somebody to get hurt, because people is taking a chance going around the double line where traffic can't, because traffic is backed up on National Parkway at the stoplight. So they're trying to go around the eastbound lane the westbound lane to try to get around it. I think we need to look at that. I'm looking for something I think is a bad accident going to happen sooner or later there in that area. A lot of people are really complaining about that. School is back in, school buses are running, and the kids are out there, so I hope we all be very careful and pay attention to that and see make sure that we keep our children safe. And Dr. Green, I understand what you were saying about National River. I have heard that story for a long time. I'm sure the council is listening as well. And that is in the northern part of the city where the growth is. I don't know what the other high schools are like, I can't say, but I can tell you I've heard that a long time about National River. So I'm hoping that we can work some way of, there's been some talk about adding on, so rather than building new schools. So we have to try to get with the schools and see what we can do, because we are still growing. We're building houses and people are coming. So the children have to go somewhere. So So we need to put brakes on one or the other. So we have to do something to try to help you all in that situation with the schools. And with that, I would say good afternoon, good evening.
Councilman Johnson.
And I'm going to be brief. I'm not going to repeat anything. Yeah. Gary Jones, thank you for accepting the position. We are excited to have you on board. I'm particularly excited. You just don't know what we've got. We've got so many things to do, but we are excited to have you there. You've been a real asset to our city for an awful long time. Mr. Benton, Greg Benton, our new public works guy. We really haven't had a chance to meet yet, but trust me, we will. I'm looking forward to you being here as well. We have, as you've heard from the traffic in our city has a lot of diversity, a lot of traffic issues, a lot of things we're going to fix. And it's a mighty big city. So if you're ever out on 58 toward the southern end of the city, stop by to see me. I'd love to see you. We have a little garden center right there. But I look forward to meeting you, and we look forward to having you here. We appreciate it. Teresa Earls, thank you for your report. Now, if anybody in Suffolk doesn't have anything to do, I think we're okay. We're going to give them your number. What I will ask you, though, Teresa, I don't usually ask for things, bring me a bunch of those books. On the southern end of the city, we can have those out there for people to pick up and to experience, and we won't have to put them on the road. They can come right out to the southern end, right where they live. We have a lot of people in Holy Neck now, so I'd love to have some of the Parks and Rec, 'cause, man, you can't miss a night where you don't have something you can do. But thank you, Mr. Yanusi. Thank you. The Cultural Arts Center is a wonderful asset to our city, and we really appreciate your program tonight. And with that, I'm simply going to say, please be safe. Schools are out. The roads are busy. They're always busy. But we need to look after the people that we live with and watch out for the farmers in the Holy Neck Borough as well, because it's a lot going on. Thank you.
Councilmember Wright.
Good evening. I hope everyone enjoyed their long Labor Day weekend. As we move into September and we acknowledge Hunger Action Month, I encourage everyone to do something in the community. There is a need, and so I encourage you, if God lays it on your heart, to donate to a local food bank this month. I've started something in the month of August that I have found to be very beneficial to our small businesses. I started a small business spotlight throughout the Sleepy Hollow Borough. And what I do is I take an opportunity to stop at the local businesses, because our communities thrive when our small businesses thrive. And so I encourage you all to shop local and to support our small businesses in this economy. I want to take this opportunity to thank Dr. Yanuzzi for your presentation on the Suffolk Center for Cultural Arts. It was very informative, and I know me, I will begin to partake in some of the activities there. I want to congratulate Mr. Jones. Congratulations on your appointment. And I want to welcome Captain Benton. Welcome aboard, shipmate. I look forward to working with you. For our non-agenda speakers, I want to say this. I want to encourage you. When you come to the podium, we are listening. It's our protocol to not speak back, and we utilize this opportunity in our comments to speak. So I want to acknowledge Mr. Wankwicks about strengthening our animal protection ordinances. I will have the staff take a look at our ordinances to see what we can do to strengthen our ordinances. I heard you. We heard you. Ms. Pamela Brandy, thank you for your presentation and your comments about the Chesapeake-Suffolk boundary line. We hear you. We are working it. Dr. Green, thank you, sir. I have 2 children that graduated from Nansemond River High School. The north area is my area. We hear you, and we will do what we can to move that along, sir. Mr. Wayne White, thank you so much. We hear you on the school buses, the sidewalks, the street, paving the streets, and the fences around the retention pond. Give us some time. We hear you. Ms. Carolyn White, thank you for giving us a refresher on integrity. We must move with integrity at all times. And last but not least, well, I actually have 2 things. I want to take this opportunity to thank the staff of Suffolk. I haven't done that in a while, but I'll tell you, you all are making me look great. Anytime there is a call that comes in, the staff gets on it right away. And I'll tell you, I am only able to do my job when you move with the efficiency that you move with. So with my whole heart, I say thank you, Mr. Kevin Hughes and the staff of Suffolk. And last but not least, I want to wish my seatmate here, Mr. Councilman Rector, a happy birthday. And with that, I'll say goodnight.
All right, Councilmember Rector.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Councilperson Wright, for wishing me a happy birthday. I've made it to 66, and I thank the Lord every day for the health that He has given me in my first 66 years and the ability to do what I do in an attempt to help further the city of Suffolk. It's a great city that we live in, and I'm very, very proud to serve on this council with my fellow council people. So with that, I was going to invoke the Vice Mayor Ward doctrine that since it was my birthday, I could take all the time for my council comments that I wanted. But since I don't have anywhere near as weighty an issue to discuss as he did with redistricting, I'm going to give everybody a birthday present in reverse and be just exceptionally quick. I just want to, everybody has said it, but school's open. Please be mindful of driving through the school zones. Watch out for the kids, and particularly when you encounter a school bus that has their stop thing out. I would encourage everybody to come downtown to the Taste of Suffolk, and particularly to watch and participate with the Plein Air Art Festival. There'll be artists all over town painting all kinds of different scenes of our great and diverse city. We have a lot to offer the art community, and I think they kind of like coming to Suffolk because they can paint everything from a river scene to a old historic church in the downtown area. So please come to the Taste of Suffolk and enjoy yourselves. And then finally, the Councilperson Bennett mentioned the STEM program that was started at Booker T. Washington Elementary School. One of the things that he forgot to mention that I think is worth bearing is that is the first and only STEM program that is in the elementary school level in the entire Commonwealth of the state of Virginia. And it's a collaboration between the Virginia Department of Education, Old Dominion University, and the Suffolk Public Schools systems. And we got a chance to tour some of the classrooms that are associated with that STEM program, and the technology and the thought behind what they have created over there is nothing short of fantastic, and our Suffolk Public School system should be very proud of that. And with that, I will say good night.
All right, moving right on. Councilmember Williams.
Thank you, Mayor. I will be brief tonight. First, I would like to thank all the speakers who came out and spoke tonight. Again, I want to piggyback off what Councilmember Wright said. You know, we hear you. We encourage you to come before us and voice your opinion. You know, you guys put us here. You elected us here to be your voice, and we need to hear from you. So anytime you have an issue, please feel free to come and speak before council. I also had the opportunity to attend the ribbon cutting for the STEM program at Booker T. I don't want to be redundant and repeat everything everybody else said. So it's a great program. Like Councilmember Rector said, it is the first one in the Commonwealth of Virginia. To Gary Jones, wow, well deserved, well deserved. I know you've always done great things for our city. I know you're gonna continue to do what you do, and nobody can do it like Gary. So thank you so much for your 25 years of dedication and service, and we're just looking forward to what the future is gonna bring. Thank you, thank you. To our newest member, Mr. Greg Benton, the new director of Public Works. Welcome, sir. You have one of the departments, a very large department, actually, and we really, really depend on Public Works Department for a whole lot. So we're here to support you. Know this, we're here.
we're just looking forward to you being here. And with that, I said I was going to be short. I'll say good night.
Vice Mayor Ward.
Yes, I want to also thank Mr. Benson. Congratulations. You got plenty of work. You do a great job. I can help you in any way. Like I said, we will, this council will call you, so don't worry about that. Well, it's a funny thing. It's a funny thing when I don't talk and when, I don't go about what people say. That don't bother me at all. They say I don't talk enough or that I don't say anything. So when something that happens that is true to me, such as the fire station, I was going to take my time and say what I had to say, and I don't regret it. And I will say the same thing again. It might be even longer this time. The people of Huntersville deserve the fire station. I was glad that it was there. And the response that I have gotten was great. So I'm not apologizing for talking that long. I know you're all joking with me, but that's fine. And that don't make no difference to me. Because sometimes I just don't say things I don't really mean. So I just rather say nothing at all. They say I can't say nothing, but you get in a conversation with me and talk on something that interests me, and we'll find out who can talk. Now, the other thing is, I want to speak on a couple of things that I don't have no problem with my borough coming out, because I've been elected 3 times, unopposed 1 time, and each time I ran, I had somebody well enough to win, to beat me, but they didn't. So I must be doing a decent job. And one thing about this here, and I'm going to use this because I'm not scared to say that, when people start quoting the Bible, I have to respond, because you can quote the Bible, and I know who put me here. I know God put me here. When you get 71 years old, you sit back and think of your life and look how you look at it, and then you haven't planned anything like this. So I know who put me here. So Pewsville, let me share this with you, that one thing about Vice Mayor Ward, Lou Ward, when you have something needed, I get it done. Okay, nobody in my borough said, well, we called Vice Mayor and it didn't happen. So I get it done. And I love for y'all to come up. I always said that, come up. I encourage people to come up. So right now, I'm gonna ask a few questions to the city manager. Help me out, because she mentioned a couple of things. I want to know the boundaries, because I never got any votes from that I never got no votes. Are they in Suffolk? I mean, I want to know, because I got some more people I need to serve. Where are the boundaries? Are the boundaries correct? Do we know the boundary? Don't know the boundaries? Well, tell me, what is that problem?
So essentially, what we've confirmed is that what we've talked about is the stair-step boundary, or the operational boundary that we've presented on. Best that we can tell through multiple verifications, schools are following the stair-step boundary. Voter registration is following the stair-step boundary. Utilities, public utilities are following the stair-step boundaries. Dominion has now shifted to the stair-step boundary. So I don't know if I'm answering your question.
Well, I don't know neither, because you're talking about stair-step boundaries. Do the public know what stair-step boundaries are?
So it's really, so we've done a couple presentations now at City Council where we introduced the stair-step boundary.
Okay.
If you were to pull up our GIS map, you would see the stair-step boundary in place. The open houses that we're doing in Chesapeake and Suffolk have the visuals. We have a website that speaks about this. Essentially, for many decades,
Right, that's
both
what
Chesapeake and Suffolk have been following the stair-step boundary.
So that is, you and Chesapeake have been working about where's what, who how much got to pay these bills. So that's something we've been doing. But this something been happening for a long period of time.
Yes, and so the goal of the boundary alignment project is to essentially take the stair-step boundary and make it official. Now, there'll be a survey that gets drawn following the open houses, and once that's confirmed and complete, then we go to a public hearing process. So that's still yet to
Are we having some like open house or something?
correct. So this Monday coming up at 4 to 7, I believe, at the Western Branch Community Center. We'll be hosting one. Both staff from Suffolk and Chesapeake will be there. And then we're doing it again at Bennett's Creek Rec Center the last Monday of the month, walking folks through the visuals and making sure there's not confusion.
And my friend Wayne White, he's still my friend ever since I've been in the city of Suffolk. Sidewalks, I don't know what didn't happen, but I'm so addicted to sidewalks now that every time I look and I see a project and I have talked to the city manager about it, I want to ask, where's the sidewalks? Because we asked to be a healthy city, and you got apartments and around you, you got to walk in the street and in the grass, and I'm just not with that. Even though I'm from the north, I'm just not with it. It just don't look good. You know, I have a brother that's in a wheelchair, and I can't just push him anywhere because there are no sidewalks. And those who know me, especially the city manager, we have talked about that so much about sidewalks. And I said the overpass, the best thing I like about the overpass, they got, on Wilbur Road, they got sidewalks. They look great with them sidewalks there. So I'm on that. And I want Fewsville to know that I've been fighting for sidewalks for the longest time. And I want to let the city manager explain to you what are we doing, why it's taking the time that we voted on it, and something just a little detour. Do you mind explaining that?
So we had in the approved capital improvement plan, I'm going to get the dollars off a little bit here, but around $1 million for a Town Point Road sidewalk project. We were hopeful that we would receive some federal funding to assist in that. We did not. Actually, no community projects were approved, and so we're going to need to strategize and look at local dollars to assist with that project moving forward.
And also, he had mentioned about John Street, and the city manager know I gave him a call yesterday because I went down John Street and I asked the question when it would be paved. And I seen on, it was like 8:29, and I talked to one of the residents there, and I made a phone call to the city manager. What's the problem? And the city manager explained to me, what's the problem, city manager, with that John Street?
No problem, just a phasing of construction. So the final phase of construction on John Street, which should happen at the beginning of October, give or take, will be the complete paving of John Street.
All right. So I just like to get a couple of things straight because I don't want nobody to feel I'm up here just to be up here to talk. That's not that. I'm up here to work. I don't have to do a lot of talking, but I do a lot of working. I make sure I do things behind the scene that are going to help the community, because I've been in that seat before where you talk and nothing happen. So that's not me. I'm going to, if I don't know about it, I'm going to send you to the department head. So if somebody come up and say, why not, I got to explain to them so the city manager can explain to me why. So I don't have no time to be saying I'm going to do this and don't do that. So, and like you said, when you use God's name in verses, and I'm saying to myself, Lord, he didn't put me here, Lord, I believe. And that's when I count on whatever. I'm going to try to be, I don't worry about man. I worry about him doing something to me, not man. That's not what I'm about. That's what I worry about. For the good things he have done to me and put me in place where I'm at today, I know what's going on. When you get older, you think better, you're wiser. So when you use the verses and use that, I don't want that to be connected with what I'm not doing. And let me say this here. I want to say congratulations to Pastor Miami Chambers. I see they got, she said, acknowledging 93 years of life, and she have a past church and pastor anniversary. So if you're not doing something September 7th, September 14th, September 21st, and September 28th, go ahead and attend. Dr. Chambers has doing great things for this city, and she's keep on doing it. So if you haven't doing that on a Sunday, you want to do some worship, go ahead and give her all your blessings on that. Let me see one more thing. Okay, yeah, I want to say this here. We talk about all this construction, Yes, it's nuisance, it's worsened, and, oh, man, you gotta wait, that's fine. But you know what, Tim? I ride down 58. And when I rolled down 58, I'm on sidewalks now. I seen two young kids riding a bike on the sidewalk. It's not a bad thing. When you got all them houses there we vote for, and they got to go in the street. They had to go in the street, they got a sidewalk. So I want y'all to know I'm in the sidewalks now. I'm into that, okay? I'm in the sidewalks, so then you can say I don't talk enough, but let's talk about sidewalks. So the next thing is, I want to say this here, and I mean it from the bottom of my heart. I call him the master builder, Gary Jones. You know how I feel about you, man. You know how me and you go, thank you. And when I'm saying you doing a great job, you better believe it. I know you can do a great job. I believe in you. And I'm glad that you, like one said, accept the position. Well-deserved, quiet guy, 25 years, never said nothing. Just ask what I have to do, and it be done. All these buildings you have fun, under budget, most of them. And I thank you so much for my firehouse. Thank you so much for that community room. But thank you, it's glad to hear that. And we have a great team added on with the city manager, interim city manager, Gleesfeld. Oh man, we got it going now. We got some vision on us. God bless y'all guys. I mean, yeah, okay. We got some vision. We're going to have to follow y'all guys. Y'all going to have some plans. Thank you. I appreciate you, man. You know how I feel about all of y'all. So with that, I'm going to say, God bless.
Okay, I'll go ahead and wrap it up, and I'll try not to be redundant. Gary, congratulations on your well-deserved appointment to interim deputy city manager.
Yep.
Make sure I get that straight. I know I always kid you about being under the radar. Well, the radar is on now, brother. No more of that stuff. But I know you do a great job as you have over the years with the city. Cap Bennett, welcome to you again. You've got a kind of, I call it a Herculean job again, to contend with 430 square miles to manage is a lot. The scope and depth of your responsibilities of the Public Works Department, the Public Works Director is often gone unappreciated over the years. I appreciate it. And like everybody here has mentioned, we're here to work with you to get the job done for the citizens of Suffolk. We mentioned the ribbon cutting in Booker T. That was a big deal with STEM Academy. The only thing I'm going to add to it is the unbelievable enthusiasm of the students, and not only the students, but most importantly, the staff. I spoke to a few teachers that have been there for multiple years, and it's just like they've been invigorated with this program. So my hat's off to everybody that was involved there, especially Old Dominion, go Monarchs. I attended the home care ribbon cutting. Once again, we talk about health care and the need for it everywhere. The grand reopening of Stillwater Tea House on Prudent Boulevard. If you haven't been by there, you got to check it out. I mean, the decor and the food, it truly is a special place to visit. I believe it actually will become a tourist attraction along with, we talk about the Cultural Arts Center and a lot of the other things going on. This ties in with it also. It is definitely something unique you need to check out. Couple of speakers in regards to our animal enforcement ordinances. We were one of the first cities to pass a total ban on dog tethering about 10 years ago, which I worked really, really hard on. You have to understand there's a lot of there are a lot of what ifs there. The Commonwealth of Virginia is what's called a Dillon state, which means we can't do anything that's not authorized by the state. And the reason I say that is that you can only pass ordinances to the extent that the state allows you to pass ordinances. And there is, within the ordinances, lots of times, the state gives you discretion as to the level of enforcement you can have. So that may be something that we can look at. And I would definitely revisit it as I have done over the years, and also speak to the Commonwealth's attorney to get an idea of what's going on. But that's something that's near and dear to my heart. In regards to Nesbitt River High School, Dr. Green, I couldn't agree with you more, my man. But as far as process is concerned, your talk needs to be with the school board. The school board, they do their CIP before we do our CIP. They prioritize projects within their CIP. And that CIP is in turn presented to the city manager and council for consideration. What we do is we normally look at the prioritization of the projects, the dollars that are involved, and we fund what we can possibly fund in that order. So if you will look at prior years to see where Nesbitt River was in the prioritization of projects, it'll give you a little clue why it hadn't been done yet. About 6 years ago, there was a study ordered that the city paid for. It's about $430,000, which was a total, which was a study involving all the school facilities within the city. The condition of the facility, the physical condition of the facility. It took into consideration student generation, where the student generation was going to be. It looked at each individual facility. And I'm sure that study is available. It gave you a minimum of 2, and in most cases, 3 different options to be able to accommodate student generation, projected student generation. Keeping in mind that we have about the same number of students today that we did 15 years ago. Nobody believes that, but it bounced around from 14,200 to 14,600. But in essence, the school population across the city, citywide, is about the same. I don't make the numbers up, that's what they are. So the study gave us a minimum of 2, if not 3 different options. The options could be, well, they evaluated the conditions of the schools to determine whether it would be economically advantageous to tear it down, replace it with a new one, rebuild it, put an addition on it. Consolidation, we can consolidate schools, and it also took into consideration redistricting. All those were just options that were provided. If you go back and look at that meeting, it was a joint city council work session about 6 years ago. When it was presented, it stated basically that Nesbitt River High School and Kings Fork were both designed with an ability to add to it, for additions, in other words. It's big enough. It's designed that way. One of the suggestions in that facility study was put a 300 to 400 addition on Nesbitt River, plus you'd have to do the cafeteria, and just as you mentioned, you'd have to do the cafeteria, restrooms, and all the other resources to go along with it. At that time, if my memory serves me correctly, don't quote me on this, could be wrong, but I think it was $14 million to do the addition. And I'm going to try to quote myself verbatim, but when it came up, I said, if I was capable, I would write the check today to make that happen. Because the high school situation with the schools is just like you said, we only have 3 high schools. Most of the growth is on the eastern side, so you can't really redistrict. You'd be passing one high school to go to another. So the logical solution would be to do the addition. But then, anyhow, without going into the rest of it, but like I say, my comment was exactly that. If I could write the check, I'd do it right now. Let's fix the high schools. Now, in my opinion, that's one thing you do, and then you redistrict about 300 kids off the west side of Kings Fork, and you send them to Lakeland, which is 75 or 80% capacity, and you've basically solved your high school capacity problem for about a decade. So once again, I hear what you're saying. Now, I have had some recent conversations, and I hope I'm not speaking out of turn because it's not up to me. But I think that is going to be moved right behind Elephant's Fork. Elephant's Fork is probably number 1. Nesbitt River is probably number 2 as far as need. Nesbitt River not that so bad as far as facility, but as far as capacity is concerned. So once again, I'm because it's a little frustrating to me because you're preaching to the choir. The CIP, the school CIP is done by these schools. They prioritize the project. They present them to us. And then we choose, to my knowledge, we have never moved their priorities around for them that I can ever remember. But we can only fund what we can. So if Nesbitt River's towards the top, then that's where the money will go first. So I appreciate you bringing it up because it gives me an opportunity to vent a little bit. So now that I've done that, we'll move on to something else. Let's move on to some good stuff. Okay, so, lots of times we always get the bad stuff. I like getting good stuff, and I like reading about good stuff, especially when it doesn't have anything to do with me. But I've got several emails over the last week or so. I got a lot of emails, but this one in particular was sent by Miss Karen Wilson, who I just did happen to speak to around the middle of July about issues that they were having on Great Fork Road. Multiple issues, grass cutting, traffic. She asked for some four-way stop signs, maybe some lines on the highway, and I really didn't do anything except make sure that she got to talk to the right people, that she knew who to speak to. She did speak to Doug Allison in our Public Works Division, I assume. And she wrote me a letter. She sent an email out on August 28th. I'm not going to read all of it to you, but it's to the mayor of Suffolk City officials and Traffic Engineering Department. This is an exciting day for the residents on Great Fork Road, Whaleyville, Suffolk, Virginia. We see that action has been taken on our concerns for the following: the posting of speed limit sign, the white lines, and the four-way stop sign. The Traffic Engineering Department of Suffolk has been at work here on Great Fork Road is securing us with the four-way stop signs. You heard our concerns for the safety of all who travel on Great Fork Road. Thank you. This is amazing. Wow. We are truly impressed and very thankful with your team taking action in such a timely manner. Our sincere thanks and appreciation from all on Great Fork Road. I want to thank you, Ms. Wilson, for your kind words. And just to reinforce what Councilmember Wright said, our staff makes us look good. I mean, I shouldn't get any credit for this. I probably will get a little bit, but I shouldn't because they do all the work. I mean, it all kind of goes downhill. Also, you guys on the third row will like this. I also got an email from Captain David L. Gray. I don't know if you know Captain Gray or not. He's the commanding officer at JEB Little Creek Fort Story, who I had the privilege of meeting. I believe it was Veterans Day last year. And he sat next to me and we talked for a while. And he was the guest speaker at the event at the Albert Horton Memorial Cemetery. And he talked about how much he liked Suffolk. And this was a year and a half ago, and he kind of thought that that's where he'd want to stay when he retired. So he sent me this email yesterday. It says, "Good afternoon, Mr. Mayor. We met and talked at Albert G. Horton Cemetery last fall. In the remembrance, I was a guest speaker. I am writing as I wanted to tell you my wife, Rosanna, and I moved in January into Creeks of Nesbitt River Estates off Sleepy Hole Road behind the high school. The new lighting system your team installed and the road work they did was phenomenal. I drove through there every day and night to and from work, and nothing but professionals. I want to let you know to please tell the boss of that team, great job, and that Captain Dave Gray is so happy to be part of this wonderful city. As I transition next year to the civilian workforce next June, I hope to find something close to our home and continue to be part of the Suffolk team." I won't read you the last sentence because he says something nice about me. It ain't about me. "I hope to find something close to our home and continue to be part of the Suffolk team." So I don't know if he's searching to help wanted ads now so y'all get some more company. I don't know what the deal is. But thank you, Captain Gray, for your kind words. We'd like to see some Army guys write something. All this Navy stuff's starting to get to me. And I did get something sent to me from our Economic Development Department today, introducing Unlocking Hampton Roads, which is a resource for economic development and international business expansion in the region, delivered monthly to your inbox by the Economic Development Task Force at Wilcox Savage. It's August 25. In this edition, they had a spotlight on Suffolk, where logistics, industry, and innovation converge. and I won't go through all that, but let me just read a couple highlights here. This is what they're talking about. Suffolk is uniquely positioned within the Hampton Roads region, boasting exceptional logistics capabilities include access to major highways, rails, and ports, as well as proximity to key military installations. These assets not only serve our local businesses, but also strengthen the infrastructure needed for resilient, defense-supportive industrial base across the region. Suffolk is a proven strategic partner in both commercial and defense-related supply chains, ensuring that infrastructure, talent, and leadership are aligned for sustained success. Suffolk's success is no accident. Suffolk Economic Development Department works shoulder to shoulder with companies to streamline site development, coordinate workforce solutions, and connect the local and state incentives. Their responsive, cooperative approach has enabled national and international companies to not only start up, but also succeed in the market. And we have a quote from our own Janet Days. I believe economic development is far more than buildings and infrastructure. It is woven into the very tapestry of every city. It touches education, workforce development, housing, and quality of life. Is it about shaping vibrant communities that attract investment and opportunity for all? So kudos on this, and we got some happy folks out there, and I think there's a few more that just had to send emails. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and move on to my quote of the night, and it is from Bear Bryant, former college football player and coach, probably most well known for, I think, his last 25 years at the University of Alabama. And that is, and I need to use this one a lot for myself, and that is, when you make a mistake, there are only 3 things you should ever do about it. Admit it, learn from it, and don't repeat it. And with that, I will ask for a motion to adjourn. Councilmember Wright.
Motion to adjourn.
Got a motion to adjourn for Councilmember Wright. Councilmember Williams.
Second, Mayor.
Second from Councilmember Williams. Is there any discussion of the motion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Bennett. Councilmember Butler Barlow. Councilmember Johnson. Councilmember Rector. Councilmember Williams.
Yes.
Councilmember Wright. Vice Mayor Ward. Mayor Duman.
Yes.
The motion is approved by a vote of 8-0.
This meeting stands adjourned.